Well, what a season he's had. Brown goes inside. Oh, what a slam from the Panthers have a 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure. So the ball is out in the end zone. And it's Wheeler finds Claude from the logo.
Edelman in motion. Edelman takes the swing pass. Edelman's going to throw. He's knocking it wide open. Amendola. Touchdown.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to our conference championship picks. We are down to the last 2 weeks of NFL picks for the season. Last week was another kind of rough one for me. I went 2-2, and I really need to make it back because I'm still 2 games in last place now. But before we start off, let's give a shout out to our friends over at Lather. Check out their brand new drop. They have the brand new Woodsman soap, the brand new Woodsman deodorant, and their body oil that they came out with. All of it smells really, really good. So make sure you check out Lather for all your men's grooming needs. They have everything from soap, shampoo, colognes. I know you got some stinky guys out there too, so make sure you check out their colognes and deodorants. Alright, so let's talk about a little bit about the divisional round. I was definitely shocked. I think we were all very surprised about the Lions losing to the Commanders. But I have to say that Jayden Daniels is not playing like a rookie right now. He's playing so calm in the pocket. He's taking hits and he's not flinching. And unfortunately for Jared Goff, he's the one that had the experience, but he was just forcing the ball. He just made some bad throws, to be honest, underthrowing wide receivers, and between the interceptions, the turnovers, that's what it's been all about. This playoff run has been turnovers. So, shout out to Washington. They took advantage of it. They played very well, and they are on their way to their first NFC championship since 2005, I believe. We also had the Eagles and the Rams, and I believe we all picked the Eagles for that game. Is that correct?
We did. Mm-hmm.
I was cheering for the Rams to win that game,
Same.
and I really thought they were going to come back and win that. I thought we were going to see a little Stafford magic, but unfortunately they fell short. It's tough to beat a team with Saquon Barkley on it. I kept telling people, you can stop him 14, 15 times from going more than 5-6 yards, but all it takes is one run, and he breaks it loose 60 yards, and that can be the ball game right there. So Washington's going to have a lot to put up with next week. We also had our 2 AFC games. We had the Chiefs and Texans, which went pretty similar to how I thought it would go. I think we all picked the Chiefs for that one as well. Kind of a low-scoring defensive battle. Not really much of a shocker there. And then we had a big game of the week, and I was wrong. The Ravens and the Bills. I thought the Ravens would completely outplay the Bills, and unfortunately they did not in the turnover department. They didn't even really punt the ball the game. They were moving it really well. They did forget they had Derrick Henry a few times, but they were still moving the ball pretty well. They just had 2 dumb, horrible fumbles, a horrible interception that was forced, and then they had the drop 2-point conversion at the end of the game. I think if they didn't turn the ball over, they would have won the game, but probably. Buffalo held onto the ball, and that's how you win a game. And they played winnable football. So now we have, I did say I think the Bills have a better chance of beating the Chiefs. So in a way, I'm kind of happy because I do think that Bills have a better chance of beating the Chiefs than the Ravens would have. I just think the Bills match up better. So, we'll start off with the NFC game first. We have, I can't remember the last time we had a divisional game for a conference championship game. I cannot remember the last time we had 2 teams in the same division playing in a conference game. I don't know if I remember that happening in recent history.
I feel like there was like a Seahawks 49ers one a little while ago.
It was a while ago, I guess. Yeah, that might be the most recent one. That was quite a few years ago.
That was a while ago.
That probably is the most recent one. Yeah. So, Washington Commanders go into Philly playing against a 6-point favorite team. Philly, they're playing at home. They're playing in the cold weather again. Jalen Hurts is even more banged up after that last game. But the thing about the Eagles is they don't really need their quarterback to be super healthy because their offense does not run through the quarterback. It runs through Saquon and it runs through their defense. So Jalen Hurts is only averaging like 15 throws a game. He did have that nice 40-yard touchdown run in the last game. I'm not sure how much they'd be willing to run it with him now, though, with that knee. And then ball security. The Eagles' biggest problem the past few years has been ball security when it comes to big games, and they've been doing a good job holding on to the football. So that's another reason why they have been continuing to win in the playoffs. I have a rookie who has, I think they said a rookie has never made the Super Bowl.
Correct.
That is correct.
Rookies never made the Super Bowl. At the time, only 7 rookies had even won a playoff game. Now we're at 8. This is kind of uncharted territory in a way. And I think everyone watching the video, I think everyone knows my feelings about the Eagles here. So we have a great defense between them and the Chiefs, the two best defenses. I'd probably give the edge to the Eagles defense. We have the best running back in the playoffs in the whole entire NFL, really, Saquon Barkley. And we have this Washington team that just kind of came out of nowhere after being a 4 or 5 win team last year. New coach, new quarterback, some old players that never really had a chance to shine in the spotlight because they had some bad teammates. Terry McLaurin, for example, great wide receiver, but he's had like 15 quarterbacks that only lasted a season, so hasn't had a lot of chance to really get that spotlight. So this is kind of tough. I don't know. None of these players really have playoff experience, so I typically want to go with the experience, and I definitely should go with the experience. But you know what? I picked against the Commanders twice already. Might as well give them a shot. I'm already behind, so I might as well throw a Hail Mary of my own and go with the upset, because I'm going to be cheering against the Eagles anyway, so I might as well give myself a reason to cheer against them even more. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders. Let's make history. His records have to be broken eventually. It's not very often. In my head, I do think that the Eagles are the better team, and they probably will win, but I think they're wounded, and I think there's just a glimmer of hope that Washington could pull this off, so I'm going to put every ounce of faith I have into Washington and hope they can get one more upset.
But I'm going to pick the Eagles. I've been hating on the Commanders all playoffs, and I'm still going to continue to hate against Jayden Daniels and the Commanders. Although, I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think they're going to beat the Eagles. Saquon Barkley is too good. Jalen Hurts had 130 passing yards, and they still won the game. He is injured, but I think their defense stops them. I mean, the Commanders beat them in week 17, but Kenny Pickett was playing quarterback. Also, the Eagles have been to the Super Bowl before.
Yeah,
So they have the experience 2 years ago.
they do.
So I'm gonna go with the Fly Eagles Fly.
Oh,
I hate them too, sometimes.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to pick the Eagles also, even though I hate them. I'm not a big Redskins fan either, or Commanders, whoever they are in Washington. And when you're in the NFC East and you're a Cowboy fan, you can't really like the Reds or the Commanders or the Eagles.
no.
So this is really going to be tough for me to watch because I don't want either one of them to win and go to the Super Bowl. But I think the Eagles will do it regardless of their quarterback being injured because all they got to do is hand the ball off to Barkley. And he will take care of it. Eventually, he's going to bust one open. And he's proven that all year long and even in the playoffs. I think he had 2 big runs last weekend.
They were 50+.
Yeah, 50 plus. So I don't see how the Redskins are going to beat them. I don't know why I keep calling them the Redskins. The Commanders are going to beat them, but I just don't see it happening. So I'm going with the Eagles. Unfortunately.
All right. I do have a bone to pick with the Lions. Now, I know they were a very injured team, and there's really nothing you can do about injuries. But aside from that, my first question is, why didn't they run the ball more? Because they started to, and Jahmyr Gibbs was shredding up the defense, so I don't know why they stopped doing that as much.
No clue.
Secondly, because I think they kind of got into panic mode. They're not used to being down in games. Secondly, why do they use so many trick plays during the regular season when they're up by 30 points, showing other teams their strategy and their playbook? Then when you're in the playoffs, you're doing these trick plays, and you got your wide receiver throwing an interception when you're down. The Patriots used to perfect it. We had Julian Edelman. We drafted him as a quarterback. He never even threw a pass until the divisional round against the Ravens for a game-tying touchdown in a game we ended up winning, and then winning the Super Bowl that same year. if Edelman got drafted to this Lions team, he would have already thrown the ball like 15 times this season, the way they just like to do these trick plays. And it's funny, I get it, but you got to just be more strategic with your timing here. They were almost out of unpredictable plays by the time they played this game. Because this was supposed to be their year. This was one of their best chances to make it to the Super Bowl and possibly win one.
Now their coordinators
and I picked them to be in the Super Bowl, so they ruined that.
They did. Now they're down 2 coordinators as well, so we'll see how that affects them next year. But before I get ahead of myself, we will move on to the Chiefs and Bills. I'm pretty sure everyone outside of Kansas City is probably cheering for the Bills this game. I am also cheering for the Bills, even though I don't typically, being a Patriots fan.
Yeah, that's
but
a little weird.
I need a change of scenery here. Also, what was Mahomes doing last game? Flopping around trying to draw. He's like trying to draw a foul almost here and there. I don't know what that was all about. The Bills did beat the Chiefs in the regular season, which is good for it's good for their mentality because it's good for them to know that they can beat this team. But on the other side of things, they've never beaten them in the playoffs. Almost all of Josh Allen's playoff losses have come to the Chiefs. Yeah. So they're going to try to block it out, but you can't completely block that out. It's going to be in your head regardless. It is. They're going to KC, really tough place to play. I think it's going to be another great game. I think it's going to be a great game, and I honestly don't know who's going to win this game. I really don't know who's going to win this game. The Chiefs' offense hasn't looked spectacular the past few weeks, but I'll be honest, I don't think the Bills' defense has looked all that spectacular the past few weeks either. I think they've gotten a lot of good opportunities, but I can't say that they look dominant. I think the Chiefs' defense is much better. That kind of scares me. That kind of scares me from picking the Bills. But I really want the Bills to win this game. I really do. And I know Josh Allen has what it takes. He's a great quarterback. I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm cheering for the Bills all the way, but in this case, I'm not going to pick against history. And the Chiefs have pretty much never let me down when I've picked them. They have like the highest winning percentage of the past few years. 7 conference championships in a row. I just have to go with the team that wins the most.
Well, I'm going to go with the Bills. I predicted that in the regular season. Neither of you did. But it does usually change in the playoffs. But, like you said, some things just need to be broken. And this is a streak that could be broken. I see it coming this year. I said the exact same last year when they played the Ravens, too. But I feel like Bills' win has to come at some point. Now is the time for the Bills to beat the Chiefs.
I have said since day one
that
I am not picking against Kansas City until they've let me down and lose, and they have not done that. So I'm picking the Bills to win the game on Sunday. I'm going against everything I've said all year long.
And we're the only team to really beat them.
And I think the Bills are in a great situation to pull off the win this year. Josh Allen is playing his best football. This is probably the weakest Chiefs team I've seen in a long, long time.
And they still won 15 games.
I agree with that. They definitely are. I think this is the most vulnerable year. Last year,
that's what they said last year.
I know, but I didn't say that last year.
No, I didn't either.
Last year, I said they were going to win all their playoff games last year. I called it.
Yep.
They were not vulnerable last year. People just didn't understand their play style. But I think they are more vulnerable this year.
This Bills team is just likable, I think.
It is.
And
I don't really like them.
I want them to win this game, so I really can't pick the Kansas City because I'm not cheering for them. No, the Bills beat them earlier this year. Doesn't mean
really doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter because Kansas City's different in the playoffs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect this. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I think the team with the ball last wins the game. And hopefully that's going to be Buffalo.
I'm going to make a guarantee. My guarantee is that the winner of the AFC Championship wins the Super Bowl.
He said the same thing.
That is my guarantee.
Yeah, I think this is the Super Bowl.
It might. The last thing I want to do is see an Eagles Super Bowl win. I do not want to see a Super Bowl win. The only person I like on the Eagles is Saquon Barkley, but I do not want the fans to get a Super Bowl. I don't want the city to get the Super Bowl. I don't want the coach to get the Super Bowl.
Right.
So it's not worth it. Although it would be hilarious to see the Giants fans after that one. That's the only positive thing I can possibly take from an Eagles Super Bowl win.
Right.
The silver lining would be the Giants fans just suffering even more.
I think they're about ready to take a bridge anyways.
Yeah. This
So,
would just put them over the top.
this will push them right off.
Yeah. Now, what does everyone think about the Patriots' Josh McDaniels signing? I think it's a great move because, first of all,
Oh,
Josh
boy.
McDaniels was Tom Brady's favorite offensive coordinator.
You don't have Tom Brady.
Will you be quiet?
Right.
Secondly, he helped Mac Jones make it to the playoffs. He was a Pro Bowler that one year. And then after he left, you saw what happened. Thirdly, offensive coordinator and head coach, two different roles. You can be a good coordinator and a horrible coach. We see that happen a lot. I think he's a really good offensive coordinator and a really bad head coach. So I think this will be a positive for us. He knows how to game plan against teams, so he has that experience as well. And I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good for us. I think it'll be good for Drake May. And I like having Mike Vrabel. I think this is probably our best shot at having a successful team. So good change of pace, but also people who will kind of understand the New England area. I'm excited for it. It'll be nice to see the Patriots back in the playoffs next year.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I think the Patriots, if we don't win the division for some reason next year,
You're not winning the division.
we will have the playoff spot. And unfortunately for the Broncos, they will miss the playoffs next year. All right, well, let us know in the comments down below who you guys are picking to go on to Super Bowl. What is this now, 59, 58?
59.
59. All right, let us know, and we will see you one last time next week.
Next week.
Time in 11 years are the Stanley Cup champions.